Well, hey, it's Pastor Brandon here with some midweek encouragement for you. Yes, it's Thursday, not Wednesday. I'm sorry. We moved last week and I've gotten a little behind on some stuff, but I'm here for you today. And I want to address a topic that is difficult for a lot of us, and that's prayer. And prayer is hard for a lot of us because we can't see God. Because for many of us, it's not like we're sitting and having a conversation with someone. Or it's intimidating because we just don't know what to pray or how to pray or what to say. Or we feel like God already knows everything, so why do I need to talk to Him? Why do I need to tell Him anything? And, this is nothing new. This is something that's been happening for ages. And there's a passage in the book of Romans that I want us to look at today because I think it has a lot to do with how we're praying specifically during the time in which we find ourselves, during a time of division, during a time of racial strife, during a time when it seems like people aren't able to see eye to eye. So I want to go to Romans chapter 8, and I want to just read a little bit for you, and then we'll talk about this. I want to start at verse 18. For I consider that the sufferings of this present time are not worth comparing with the glory that is going to be revealed to us. For the creation eagerly waits with anticipation for God's sons to be revealed. For the creation was subjected to futility, not willingly, but because of Him who subjected it, in the hope that the creation itself will also be set free from the bondage to decay into the glorious freedom of God's children. For we know that the whole creation has been groaning together with labor pains until now. Not only that, but we ourselves who have the Spirit as the firstfruits, we also groan with ourselves, eagerly awaiting for adoption, the redemption of our bodies. Now in this hope we were saved, but hope that is seen is not hope, because who hopes for what he sees? Now if we hope for what we do not see, we eagerly wait for it with patience. In the same way, the Spirit also helps us in our weakness, because we do not know what to pray for as we should. But the Spirit Himself intercedes for us with unspoken groanings. And He who searches our hearts knows the mind of the Spirit, because He intercedes for the saints according to the will of God. This is the word of the Lord. Now, here in the church in Rome, the church was facing division within its ranks. Racial and ethnic divisions between Jewish Christians and Gentile Christians, divisions among the rich and poor, all kinds of divisions brought about by the bringing together in the church of people from all kinds of different backgrounds. And largely in the book of Romans, the Apostle Paul is addressing this division between Jewish Christians and Gentile Christians. And he's trying to help these groups understand their place in the plan of God and understand their equity within the plan of God, and that there is no superiority. And he's talking about the sufferings of the church and the sufferings of the present age at the beginning of our little passage here. And he's saying, look, the sufferings of right now don't even compare to the glory that will be ours. And it's that glory, it's the glory of the future restoration of all things, the restoration of all creation, including you and me, but also the world around us that we long for. The Spirit of God longs for it. We long for it. And he says, in our longing, in the midst of our longing, as we're awaiting the Spirit of God to remake the world and to make everything perfect and right again, we don't always know what to pray. We don't know exactly how to pray. What we know is that we're looking forward to the future. We're looking forward in hope to the restoration of all things. And in the meantime, we have a hard time praying about this. We have a hard time knowing what to pray during our present sufferings, during the current division and strife and pain of the world. And doesn't that sound like the world in which we live? Doesn't that sound like where we are right now? We don't know exactly what to pray. We don't know exactly what the glory to come looks like, and we don't know exactly how to seek it. And so Paul is saying to you and to me, in the midst of our trial, in the midst of our not knowing what or how to pray, he's saying, look, it's okay. Because when you pray, the Spirit intercedes for you. That is the Spirit of God, the Holy Spirit of God, living within the heart of every single follower of Jesus, intercedes on our behalf, speaks to God for us. And the Spirit knows you and me intimately because the Spirit's in you. And he says here, the Spirit knows God. God knows the mind of the Spirit. And so the Spirit speaks with inexpressible groanings. The Spirit speaks in a way that we can't even understand, that we couldn't even put words to, but God knows what the Spirit is saying. God knows how the Spirit is interceding. And so when you and I come to pray and we're just stuck, we don't know what to pray. We know what we want. We know we want justice for the world. We know we want peace. We know we want shalom. We want all of God's goodness to come. And we are longing and groaning as though in labor pains for that. Though that's where we are, the Spirit intercedes and God knows your heart. God is present within you. And God is present on his throne and he has a plan. And the God in you speaks to the God on the throne, and they understand one another perfectly. And so no, even when you don't know what to say, even when you don't know what to pray, even when you don't know how to pray, God knows your heart. God himself within you intercedes on your behalf, and God on his throne knows and hears the Spirit of God within you. So next time you're stuck, and you don't know what to pray, you don't know how to pray, you don't know how to seek the things of God, you don't even know really what God's plan is or what the right words are, just know that God has got you covered. The Spirit of God within you will pray on your behalf in ways that you couldn't even express. And God on the throne knows and understands your heart better than you do yourself. And so you can pray boldly, inarticulately and boldly. Go before the throne of God and don't worry so much about what the particular words are that you're going to pray or exactly how you're going to pray. Just let God do the work. Sometimes we just need to sit before the throne of God and not know what to say. We need to just sit in silence and let God do his work. And so what is our responsibility in this is really just to come. Just to be there, just to make the effort and discipline to pray to our God, and he will take care of the rest.